discussion of parking and golf. Good evening. We'll call the meeting to order. Will everyone rise and join for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Let the record show that we are all in attendance. We're short one committee person, but I believe that the board wants to talk about the makeup of this committee. I think that's going to be on the next agenda, the next Tuesday's meeting. So well, I think they want to shorten up. I think they want to take off board members. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but we'll. I haven't seen what their proposal is. Here's me, because by state statute, I have to be on the committee. So you're
There
stuck.
has to be two board members, because if she's gone, the other board member would run the meeting, so I don't know what they mean.
But we'll talk about that next Tuesday. So anyway, that's why we haven't filled the open position yet. But I think we do have 2 or 3 people who are interested in that position, which is a good place to be in. So hopefully after next Tuesday's meeting, we'll know which direction they want to go. Public participation. There are, let's see, David Winkle.
Can I adjourn that to item 8A?
You want to wait?
Yeah.
Okay. Ray Smith, did you want to speak or you just want to listen?
Let's speak later.
Speak later? Okay, so I'll just hang on to it then. Okay. All right, so there's no public participation. You have the minutes of the June 18th meeting. What is your pleasure?
I will make a motion to accept the minutes from June 18th meeting.
There a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mark. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. All right, we are prepared to go into the public hearing to, is there a motion to convene and go into public hearing?
I'll make a motion to convene the meeting and enter into the public hearing.
Motion by Darlene,
Seconded.
second by Chad. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Chad, did you want to speak to this?
We'll wait until the
8A. All right, Mel, did you want to speak to this?
I'll wait till 8A. I represent now too.
Okay, so then there's nothing to discuss during the public hearing? If that's where we're at, okay, then I need a motion to close the public hearing. And go back into open session,
I'll make a motion to close the whole hearing
and go back into regular
and
session.
go back and bring this.
I'll second.
Second by Darlene, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, 8A. Chad, would you like to lead this off?
Sure. So Mel Dayton submitted a zoning map amendment for the parcels on Highline Road that says 39012, 39018, and 39010. This is currently zoned general agriculture. The request is to rezone it to single family traditional RS2. It's a total of 52 acres. Staff has asked for a concept plan related to this, just to understand what this is ultimately going to be, and we were told there is no plan, it's just a request for a rezone. So at this point, as we know, in other plans before there's been preliminary plans and concept plans that come before the planning commission and the village board. The village board has not accepted previous plans, so I think we're having a kind of hearing from the applicant and seeing what their wishes are related to this request.
Okay, yep, come on up. We just need your name and address.
Yes, my name is David Winkle, 411 South Commercial Street, in Wisconsin. I represent Mel Baden. As staff articulated correctly, Mr. Baden just wants to rezone his property to what the Calumet County Land Use Planning had it slated for, which is single family residential. He has come before this board and also the village board several times, and he's been unable to get an approved development. I know this board has been, at least I was told, this board has been helpful and supportive of his plans, but the village board has turned them down. So he thought it would be easiest, instead of continuing to just throw concept plans out there at the wind, to take this in the proper steps. The first step is to rezone where it should be rezoned, and that is single family. Second step would be to then bring forward a concept plan for the development of single family. But that's fairly cookie cutter in that single family lots is, can only be so big, and then the roads and everything else. So that's not really, I don't think, going to be anything that is going to be very contentious at the board level. But instead of spending a lot of money with the engineering company, continuing to come up with concept plans, we thought it best to take this exactly what Calumet County, and I'm imagining with the input of the village board, as to have this slated as single family residential. So that's what it is, just two-step process. We'd like planning committee here to recommend to the village board approval of the rezone. And the village board approves of that, which I'm hoping they do, because that is what Calumet County has for its property slated to be. Then we'll work on basically a subdivision layout and a concept plan, whether it's in 2 stages or 1 stage or whatever. But we can work with staff then to make sure that the single family residential will comply with the village ordinances. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. The package has it called Calumet County zoning map, but I've been told that this is actually the village town plan.
We knew what you were saying.
But I think the county has to approve your.
No,
No.
being a village, we're not under the county zoning at all. That was back in the 90s.
Right,
Back in
okay.
the 90s, but
So anyways, that is the proposal, and open for questions. We have John Dable here, we have Mel Baden here. If anyone has any questions on what is being requested.
go ahead, Mark.
This is gonna be an issue with the board. And I'm gonna be very blunt about it. In the last board meeting that where things had gone south. We have it's a complex issue out in that neck of the woods over there. We have a major traffic issue on KK. And we are trying to minimize until the state expands the roads out there, Darboy Club, essentially 4-lane 255. The traffic is horrendous in the morning. 7 to 8, 3 to 5, and we are currently also redoing our comprehensive plan for villages this summer, early fall. So there are changes that are going to be made based upon the growth that we got going on in Harrison, the roads that we have, and feedback from all our constituents and voters in the village of Harrison. So, the direction that we had given Mel from the last meeting, speaking as a planning commission member, also a board member, was that we recommended that he would go commercial out there in your cell, and also minimize the traffic on KK. We do put in 52 lots, 2-3 vehicles per house. This is creating additional pressure on KK. And granted, we don't control what goes on KK, the state does. The state hasn't given us the money. But we have to still deal with the traffic and the growth. And the growth in this area, we're trying to minimize islands of residential growth way to the east right now, because it's right now the infrastructure has a hard time handling the current status. The second issue I have that will come up is the RS2 rating. This is smaller homes closer together. That also there may be some issues with that also. That's just my honest assessment.
Just,
Yeah, go ahead.
and I appreciate that, because I was not at the meetings. 52 acres of commercial is probably gonna have more traffic than 52 acres residential. I do a lot of residential development. The last 4 years, I've developed over 1,000 lots, everywhere from Appleton down to Neenah. And people come and go at different times out of residential, commercial, they do not. Everyone's coming to work at 8, everyone's leaving at 5. You'll have a lot of traffic out of that. So, from a traffic standpoint, I understand you have a KK problem. I'm not sure. I mean, the problem we have is that this is something the village said they wanted to see. They wanted this property to be zoned single family, right?
We did.
Well, that was in your land use plan.
The problem is previous board, there's been change in certain board members.
Is it possible for me to say something? I know.
Sure.
I want to tell you something. Number one is, this was settled 15 years ago. That's a 4-lane road we can put in Prosperity to get the traffic out of here. Okay, traffic will never be an issue. We took 120,000 times onto the same intersection on Highline Road with these great big trucks, with these 80,000-pound trucks. Never been an issue because, and they had a fight with the county and the state. They had to straighten that intersection up, but they don't line up. And it works like $1 million because if that car ain't pulling out, this one can. We got out of there with them trucks for what? For 20, 30 years, 20 years or whatever we had. It never was. State Park is a problem. There's no question about it, but we are running a 4-lane road all the way from KK to Smith Road, which is Midway. So it should never be couldn't be a problem because that's why I'm giving you 80 feet in order to put in. We're going to put 2 lanes down the middle. And if you ever had a problem, you add the other 2 lanes. So traffic is the least of your problem.
Just so, because you weren't at the meetings, the village board is split 4-3.
Okay.
And the first couple of proposals that were brought in with the concept plans had the first couple rows of commercial and then the single family behind that, and even that got voted down. And about a 4-3 vote.
How long has the village land use plan had this slated for residential?
The land use plan was approved in 2017. And by law, it's supposed to be updated every 10 years
Right.
and a full rewrite every 20 years. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, in the village of Harrison, so much has changed in the last 3 to 5 years. So that's why the board has moved to work on an update to it. Because of the change, but it's just really been the change of board makeup and kind of the growth that's happening in the village and the infrastructure system can't handle that yet. So going forward, when the new plan is approved, I don't know, if this is going to be slated for commercial or single family or, or what it is, but, it's hard. I realize it's relatively new, but it's still 5-7 years old.
It's a 7-year-old plan, but the whole idea is for citizens to rely upon the plan in making their own plan. So it's
I mean,
difficult.
it's a plan, and you can say it's a plan, and plans don't always happen the way plans happen.
That's,
So,
I mean,
the
that's,
guide, if you will,
right.
the village should consider, but the board has the ultimate authority.
All right, well, that is the proposal, I suppose. It can be turned down, and I don't know where you send the citizen if you turn them down, because you don't want to follow your land use plan.
Well, here again, the staff recommendation is for this committee to not take any action tonight, because it's more pointless for us to take action and then have the village board overturn, because that's happened 3 times now.
Right.
Personally, I think 50+ acres of land is an awful lot. You're gonna expect that to be all commercial. Personally, that's my personal opinion. I think you need a blend of commercial and single family residential.
but that proposal got shot down.
Yes. But here, and I'm speaking as one trustee in my personal preference. I think it's unrealistic for the board, the village, to expect an additional 52 acres to be commercial in this area. I mean, that's my own personal opinion. But here again, there are some recommendations that are gonna come forward at Tuesday's meeting by, from our interim village manager, Russ Van Gumpel, that he wants to talk about at Tuesday's meeting. So you may want to wait until after Tuesday's meeting before you bring this again.
To say, you gotta remember, and you know dang well, I worked with this town all my life.
I don't know.
So there's no way in hell we were gonna develop this. Because between Springers and I, we're losing $450,000 in taxes. Because the basis is, if I'm 88, she's 86 or something, either one of us die, it goes, the bases go up, it's free. But the town came to us and asked us if we would figure out if we'd sell or not. We kind of said no. But then it ended up, I'm gonna tell you the truth, it ended up that I figured Biden was gonna get in, and he was gonna change the bases and everything else, so Brad and I decided that we would sell, so I came to the town.
Oh, it would have been the village.
Huh?
It would have been the village. You came to the village.
Yeah.
Biden got
Yeah.
in. It was the village. But you had different members on the board.
Yeah.
And
So I came here with Mark and all the rest of
right,
it and asked them, what do they want? And I said, if you ever want commercial, now's the time to do it because you're never gonna get it after you go residential. So they threw up their hands and says it's gotta be residential. So now in order to do residential, you gotta have a buffer, so that's why I set up some duplexes and then it was residential. We turned it down flat, which I knew they were gonna do. So then we went to 16 lots of commercial, which is more, I mean, it's gonna take 16 years to sell them because commercial ain't moving. Look at them lots out on KK. They're sitting there for 15 years. I don't even get a call. I mean, so, but, okay, I still went with the 16 and no matter what I put out there, they turn it down. And we don't have the right to do anything because we're not going against the comp plan. So this is why now we're going with the comp plan. Because I think if this gets turned down, I'm not gonna stop until it's gonna be hell on earth.
and I'm sorry.
Just ask a
Bob,
question
go
about
ahead.
process.
Okay.
So we do have a comp plan. I know that a lot of things have changed. Do we have a timeline of when that's gonna be done? Because I guess it does say residential. And so
The
Do we-
goal is the first quarter of 25.
If-
that takes about 6 months or better to,
Takes about a year.
Yeah.
We're doing it with Kelly in the county, we're doing it for county wide, and so we're kind of taking on there. It just probably about a year.
Okay, you've got a question?
You guys walk into your name speakers,
The microphones. Talking in the microphones. Okay,
pull the microphone closer to you. I've got the hearing little thing and you're dropping in and out. Can't understand what you guys, when you're using us in and out, you just stand up. Do something so you can hear what the hell you're saying.
okay, thank you. They were talking about when the comp plan is supposed to be finalized, and it's the first quarter of 2025.
Is the comp plan gonna consider, seeing that you're working with the county, is that gonna consider the role of KK and any future upgrades with that?
I mean, it'll spell it out, but we have no jurisdiction over it.
Okay, but it's kind of a recommendation and we're working with the county, so hopefully that's gives them a little nudge.
There's no moratorium on rezoning that the village put in place, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Unless, right, it didn't happen before my time, okay, so no, but. I do think at this point. This committee should. Take no action and defer it to the county board now. The village board. Okay, but you may want to wait, because we've already had the public hearing. How long is the public hearing good for? Can they wait 30 days, 60 days? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, we, by state statute, we'd have to, well,
You'd have to run another notice,
You have a village board meeting next Tuesday.
correct,
And then when's the next one after that?
30 days later.
Okay,
It,
okay. All right, well, I understand your position. Thank you for listening to us. And so you're gonna defer to the village board.
well, I would need a motion to take that
I'll
action.
make a motion to defer it to the village board.
No, second.
Okay, one more question from Ray in the back.
I'd like to walk speak on.
Okay. You guys okay with that?
Mhm.
All right, come on up, Ray.
Ray Smith, and 9536 Highline Road. How come nobody ever questioned any of the homeowners on Highline Road about this commercial being right across the road from me? I'd rather see single family homes instead of commercial, because I'm already putting up with the commercial behind me. And the first building behind me, they're not too neighborly friendly. Did I hear you say that you want commercial over in that area? Like in the near future?
Well, the original plan that Mel brought in had commercial on KK,
Yes.
roughly 16 lots, if I remember correctly. And then it filtered to some duplexes and then single family residents. So
Yeah.
it filtered down to you guys and provided a buffer for you guys.
Okay,
And that plan was turned down by the village board. So what trustee Van Hefty said is that he believes or that the village board would be more inclined to do all 52 acres of commercial. Now, we don't know that goes to the board next, if Mel brings it forward, but that's also a discussion for comp plan.
okay, now. My understanding, you're saying you don't want single family home in there because you're worried about the traffic going out on the KK.
That was what,
Which
Trustee
that's
Van Heften
kind of a state problem, because that's a state highway, and I've been to meetings when Chester Dietzen and Joel Springers. And all of this stuff, and that is in the plans that. If there ever a big accident, this and that they were gonna go to 4 lanes. Well, that accident never happened or nothing, but they said in the future that they'd go to 4 lanes. You know, they even purchased property alongside Roofing Automotive, straight out the end of my road and all that stuff. The township at that time did. Okay, now with this, I was under the understanding that there's 3 people on the board here that wants that property commercial. And I understand getting commercial property in the district for tax purposes and this and that. But from the south side of Highline Road all the way to Schmidt Road, 500 feet off KK, on either side of KK is already zoned commercial. It was zoned commercial way back when Highway 55 auto was put in. I don't know how many years ago that was. That Hoppensberger property's already got sewer and water stubbed into that property. So why won't you put your commercial property over on the Hoppensberger property, which I believe is most probably way more than 50 some acres.
And it's
And it's already zoned commercial property over 500 feet off 55.
all commercial.
You know, and then I don't have to stare at the businesses across the road from me. You already got commercial property running the full length of 55 all the way up to Schmidt Road. 500 feet back. You know, and you already got sewer and water stubbed in there. I don't know why you're so hell bent on putting commercial that I sit in my front window and stare at it. You know, and then another thing, while we're at it, if commercial goes in or single family goes in, and where my house is located and Pat Shear's house is located, I do not want a roadway coming out the front of my house that I got headlights shining on either one of our house. I've been there 33 years. And I don't have to put up with headlights shining onto that's why I came tonight. But after listening to this and so hell bent on the commercial, I'm sitting there thinking, I can throw a stone from my house and hit commercial property if you want commercial property. It's there.
So you would prefer this 50 acres be residential?
Yes.
Then we'll take those comments and forward them to the board next week.
And you already have commercial property right in the area you're looking at.
Now, Chad, you and Josh kind of had your heads together. Did you want to add something here or you just?
I just want to mention that Ray and I talk a lot, and I have communicated
Yeah.
that once we get a plan and we see where the roads are coming out, and we will work with you
Yes.
on where the headlights are, so they're not in your living room.
Yeah.
And until we see a plan, we can't act on it. So
Okay.
that's where we're at with that.
But I
I
think
appreciate it.
his main point is for the rezone, that he would prefer residential versus 52 acres of commercial.
Understand that.
Yeah.
And it might behoove him to attend the village board meeting next week and see.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second on the, motion and a second on the table to defer action to the village board. Any further discussion?
I just, for me, I want to be a good commission member, and I don't even know if I know the rules. That came in about why wouldn't we, so, because that's what's in the plan, so, I guess, how do I help the board, or how do we know I gotta go to board meeting to set it? Because I don't want to be up there, I don't want to say yes here or go against the board, that's not, but I don't understand what the rules are.
Chad or Don?
I would like to mention, this committee normally makes a recommendation to the board. And normally the board would follow it, but this board does not.
We've made 3 recommendations to approve Bell's property.
And there's
Different concept,
nothing you can do.
and every time we get to the village board, they shoot it down.
Well,
But-
and that's why I'm just.
Yeah.
Like, I know what it says, but I actually was the one on that committee. I understand that that was old thinking, but I don't, I'm trying to figure out if that's what it is, and these guys think that's what it is. It's hard, I'm coming and going, oh, why would we?
Well, and that's been a problem because I think Ray's point that 50 acres of commercial there doesn't make as much sense as, say, 45 acres of residential and 10 acres of commercial. or
Yeah,
something.
and that's not my point. My point is, if it's, I don't care if the board deemed it commercial or residential, whatever. I will support that, but I don't know what the rules are because they aren't laid out. And if we have to wait a year, then is everybody in limbo for a year? I don't understand how to navigate that.
Well, and that's been a contention between members of this committee and members of the village board. Because I have the same concern that, our comp plan does say, single family, and there are people who are refusing to acknowledge the comp plan. So I don't know how that goes forward. I really don't.
Well,
And you
that's.
don't want to vote anyway according to what you think the board wants. You're supposed to
Right.
do according to what you
No,
think
I'm
is better
gonna-
for the village.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna vote towards the plan. I'm gonna support the plan. That's my mindset of, this is what everybody's out there looking at, we're trying to do as a village, and I would support the plan.
Mhm.
And so that's why I said, when we're not following the plan, I get stuck, and I think I got the answer, I'm good.
Okay, so there's a motion, and a second to defer to the village board meeting. You can vote against that and then bring back another motion to act on this plan here as part of the plan. I mean, that's totally appropriate as well. The staff made the recommendation to defer. We don't have to follow staff recommendation. We can vote against that motion if you choose, and then,
I guess as comment, I'm gonna support that vote because I'm not gonna vote yes and have them go there and be a no. But what I'm saying is, as soon as we can get that plan done, I guess I want to see it so that I can be, I don't,
Well, you're part of the process, so once we get to draft land use plans, planning commission will be involved with that. Okay. But what the public should know is there's more than just a land use plan and a comp plan. There's 17 chapters of smart rules stuff that has to be dealt with under state statute as well. That's why it takes a year and a half to do.
but I do understand the frustration of residents and developers when it appears that the decisions being made by the village board are arbitrary and capricious. So I understand your frustration. All right, any further discussion? The motion is to defer to the village board.
can we get a second?
There's a second on that. Are you prepared to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the motion to defer is passed. So come to next week's meeting, or if you choose to hold off, then that's your decision. Okay,
Fine, thank you.
thank you, guys. All right, next on the agenda, certified survey map. For Zeringer, parcel 4936. Okay, nobody's here for that. Okay,
This is for, it's a split of parcel, it's over in the southern, part of the village, below the 55-114 interchange. The applicant also owns a lot of ag land around there, and there is residential on 55 that kind of bumps that parcel in. He's looking to split it into essentially 2 7-acre parcels, and I think one of them, my understanding is one of the parcels may have an offer for sale on it.
okay. Questions? Is there a motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion to approve, certified survey map, Zeringer Highway 55 parcel 40936 as printed and circulated, staff recommendations.
I'll second.
Second by Darlene. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. Very good. All right, certified survey map for Craig, my butcher's name, Weaver. Or Chad or. Josh?
I did talk to Craig, typically staff sent an email just reminding people of this meeting now that it'd be beneficial for them to attend, but he is in Rhinelander, so he could not make it. He is looking to combine these two parcels. This is over on 114, closer to kind of the city of Menasha, where they have the development over there. He's looking to combine the two parcels mainly to create one residential parcel, and he's also looking then to put a solar energy system on the east side. Currently, he's not able to put that on that east parcel because our ordinances do not allow any type of accessory structures without a principal structure on the residential zone. He's owned both parcels for a long time. Staff recommends it. If you look at the map, he's got Menasha to the east, Menasha to the west. The only Harrison parcel over there is a relative, Kristen Weaver, and then it's city of Menasha along Herndon Avenue.
Questions, comments? Ready to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the modified certified survey map for one lot.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. Condominium plat for Scott Doran, N 9676 and N 9678 Hoffensberger. Parcel 35-286. Josh?
The owner also couldn't make this, I left off KK, but if you look at the map. Reverend Dave, the RFP borders KK. This area is all zone two-family residential. He's looking to take his duplex and make it into limited common ownership. To sell one side of. One side of the duplex. We have both. He has both zero lot lines on both sides. There's also condo parcels over on Holly Street. So this area is a mix of both condo parcels, zero lot lines, and duplexes. Both zero lot lines and condo parcels such as this have different regulations. So he does need to get a inspection from the building inspector and pass that it needs building code.
Okay. Any questions?
You know, I guess, you know, this, because the duplex is in here already and it fills in a small gap here.
Well, it is a duplex, correct?
It is a
The
duplex.
building is a duplex,
Right.
so we're not building a new one. He just wants to split it in half and sell it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I have no problem.
Was that a motion, Mark?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve, Professor Matt Craig Weaver and 8803 Kernan Ave, parcels 4256 and 42860, Spencer circulated.
Oh, no, we're on the next one.
Oh, excuse me, so, sorry, take that.
One with Scott Doran.
Make a motion to approve the condominium plot Scott Dorn and 9676 /N 9678 Hoffenberger parcel 5286 as printed and circulated.
Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Bob. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. All right. So certified survey map, this is property owned by the village of Harrison. And
So
Chad,
this is the property that directly, that there's the utilities on Lake Park Road is. Part of there's an empty space to the north that the village is working on a commercial development at that location, so this would create parcels for, commercial development. There was a drainage easement by Calumet County from this property that the county has since released. The easement will be smaller from a 55-foot by easement down to a 30-foot easement, and it'll span both of the lots. I have been in touch with the proposed developer, and he's supportive of it the way it's laid out, so we're recommending it.
any questions or comments?
Are there any utilities in there now? In the easement? Yes, there's a storm, a 65-inch storm sewer. As long as the 30 feet is good enough for
We
future.
reviewed
it with, well, the village engineer is McMahon, and we reviewed it with DPW, and everybody's in agreement. McMahon proposed the width, so. Oh, good, thanks.
Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the certified survey map, breaking the two lots.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. Okay. Now you have the June building permit report. Any questions or comments?
One thing I would just say is the number of permits coming in for single family residential continues to keep us very busy, so you will see that we have 8 new permits in the month of June. The total value is around 3.5 million, so we're ranging roughly 8 to 10 new home permits every couple of weeks, so.
All right. Our next meeting is scheduled tentatively for August 23rd at 6 p.m.
August 23rd.
I think it's the week before, this isn't the.
Well, it says August 23rd on here. Did I read that wrong? That is what I read, right?
Yeah, for the planning commission meeting. That should be the.
It should be the 20th.
Oh, it's a typo.
Oh.
It's a
That's a
typo.
Friday.
Okay, it's a typo. It's why I had to bring it up, so I'm looking,
It
it's
is
like,
Friday, sorry. He's working on the last year's calendar.
it's a typo. Okay.
It's actually August 20th.
20, okay, I just wanted to be sure.
I didn't look at my calendar, and stuff that. Okay, so does that work for everybody, guys?
Yep.
All right, and is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to.
Motion by Darlene, second by
I'll second it.
Chad. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, thank you, guys. And the village board meeting on the 27th, right?
I kept looking at it, like that, thinking, let's see how short that I. That's right.
I didn't even notice. All right, thank you, guys.
No. Yeah, I tell you, they want to reduce the number.
No, no.